medicines, naniniwala ako sa albularyo.
Has culture been overthrown by modernization?
Para sa akin, folk medicine is not effective.
I don't think that most folk medicine is as effective as Western system of medicine.
I would resort to herbal medicine that underwent scientific study rather than folk practices.
I think that folk medicine can be very useful, but I don't think it's as effective as Western medicine.
Folk medicine is hindi siya effective para sa akin. Pero kasi ano lang naman siya, yung kulang yung factor niya para mapunan yung purposes ng medicine.
I strongly disagree about folk medicine. I respect their practices, but I don't believe in them. I would resort to herbal medicine that underwent scientific study rather than folk practices. Even if modern medicine exists, we can't force other people to change their health practices.
In the advent of global modernization, the changing of norms, traditions, and cultures is inevitable. Although commonly known for being grounded in the practices of folk medicine, the Philippines is not an exception to this paradigm shift. Despite not having a scientific basis, it is still important to look back at our roots and recognize the paths that our ancestors have undergone. Folk medicine allows us to preserve the identity of early Filipinos before the Philippines was colonized. But how would this be possible?
Na kapag ang isang tao ay nasasabihan, isinusunod ko to. Ako si Angelito Mando Pedroso, na taga Andrea Bill. Ang i-explain mo sa isang tao hindi ba nakakaranas ng mga sakit, at pag nagpatingin sa amin siya, doon lang namin masasabi kung ano yung nararamdaman niya. Since 1980s, miyembro ako ng Lord of Patton na si Christy nakaupo nakagapos. Kung saan kami napupunta, kami umakit sa bundok. At doon kami nananampalatayang maigi, naghuhugas muna kami ng mga kasalanan. Dahil ang tao, walang nilalang na hindi makasalanan. Kaya bago ka pumanik ng bundok, mangungumpisal ka, mangungumunyong ka. Dahil hanggang ngayon ang mga tao ay sagad sa kasalanan. Sabi nga ng sa Bible, kung ang mata mo ay makasalanan, tukutin mo. Kung ang tenga mo ay makasalanan, tanggalin mo. Kung ang iyong dila, bibig ay makasalanan, putulin mo. Hindi ibig sabihin na physical na dudukutin mo. Kung hindi ipikit mo ang iyong mata para wala kang makita. Takpan mo ang iyong tenga para wala kang marinig. Itigil mo ang bibig mo para wala kang masabi na makakasakit sa iyong kapwa. Para ang kasalanan ay hindi dumadapi sa iyong katawan. Katulad ng Las Piñas Medical Center, ang isang bata, sabi dengue. Sinabi ko, hindi dengue ang sakit ng anak mo, kundi ang anak mo ay naglalaro sa likuran ng bahay mo at may mga halaman. At sagot sa akin ng nanay, tatay, bakit niyo po alam? Hindi po ako ay nakakarating. Yun ang nakikita ko sa anak mo. At nakasagi ang iyong anak. Kaya ang lagnat ng anak mo ay gano'n na lang kataas. Bababa, tataas. Kumuha ko ng langis, hinilot ko lang, dinasalang ko. Mga ikalawang araw, lumabas na ang bata agad. Kasi ang doktor ay talagang hindi naniniwala. Kasi ang gusto ng doktor, may nag-aral sila, silang nakakaalam. Hanggang sa ngayon, marami binabago ang doktor. Kami, wala kami binabago. Kung anong nakikita namin at nararamdaman namin sa tao, sinasabi kagad namin.
I think the main reason why folk medicine still exists despite the availability of modern medicine is that it lives among the lives of certain groups of people as a part of their culture. And for some conservative communities, it is really difficult to change their beliefs. While for some who live in remote areas, sometimes their last resort is to seek treatment from a local cure. To my opinion, it really comes to the people's decision whether to use folk or modern medicine.
I think it is important for us to look at traditional medicine from different perspectives. If we only look at it through its effectiveness, it will always be seen in a bad light because of how inconsistent its results are. Folk medicine has been a huge part of our culture, and of course, culture is important to the country because it gives us individuality. And I think that it is better for us to keep an open mind, and it is also not impossible for us to achieve a compromise, somewhat a compromise between folk medicine and modern medicine.
I think the biggest misconception here is how people have a tendency to think that it's an either-or situation. Either you believe in modern science, in modern medicine, or you stick with our traditional beliefs and go for folk medicine. But I think it's more than just picking a side. Culture almost always finds its way into our daily life, regardless if we're at the peak of technological advancement or if we're at the very early years of civilization. We might not have the same customs and habits as before, but we came from that shared culture. It's what unites us as citizens of this country, and we don't necessarily have to destroy it just because it does not go in line with our new and current beliefs. We cannot deny that folk medicine, despite the criticisms of majority of the population, will always play a major role in shaping our Filipino identity.
On my experience interviewing the albularyo, I was skeptic since I was raised not to believe in them. I often thought that it was just some kind of placebo effect wherein the patient will be cured if he or she believes that he or she will be cured. But going with his explanation, the moment his middle finger gently touched my skin, I felt stinging pain behind my back. And that felt real. The feeling feels real, and I think that itself is something to consider. That feeling itself is something that we, the Filipino people, should not eliminate.